voice, Emma whispered. Wind shook the trees, creating a noise like nothing will happen. I'm here. Slowly, each step making the ground upon them, then let out a thunderous roar before sitting down, and for a brief moment, it felt like standing on the very edge of death. We'll stay together. The lion stopped. Does that mean there was a man with the lion? Slipped and nearly fell. Some time. Their eyes caught sight. The night had grown deep. Dark clouds loomed over the sky, and the wind carried with it a sense of some unknown fear. Emma and Liam had set out on a long journey in their car. The headlights cut through the darkness, casting light on the road, but beyond the circle of light, everything appeared strange and frightening. Emma was gazing out the window, feeling as though the long branches of the trees were brushing past them. Suddenly, the engine rattled and then jolted hard. The car came to a halt in the middle of the road. Emma's heart skipped a beat. Worried, she asked, "What just happened?" Filled Emma's eyes. All around was desolation. There was no sign of a lamp or habitation as far as they could see. Only with a trembling voice, Emma said, "What are we going to do?" Taking a deep breath, Liam replied, "We'll walk. There has to be a fuel station somewhere." After walking for quite some time, their eyes caught sight of a faint signboard in the distance. It was the symbol of a fuel station. A wave of relief and joy rushed through both of them, and their steps quickened. The closer they drew, the darker the path became. Clouds had swallowed the moon, and light raindrops had begun to fall. Hesitantly, Emma said, "This road seems to be leading into the forest. Do you think it's safe?" Forced confidence. Liam replied, "We don't have any other choice. If there's a fuel station, it has to be this way." As they stepped into the forest, the atmosphere shifted. Branches of the trees twisted and tangled overhead, as though some giant claw had gripped the sky shut. Even the faint glow of the moon was lost within the dense canopy. Trembling voice, Emma whispered, "This forest feels strange, as if it won't let us leave alive." And as soon as they entered deeper into the forest, the rain turned into a raging storm. The fierce wind shook the trees, creating a noise like thousands of doors banging shut all at once. Cold made their bodies tremble uncontrollably. Suddenly, lightning flashed across the sky, and for a brief moment, the forest lit up. In that flash, Emma saw a dark shadow standing behind a tree in the distance. Terrified, she clutched Liam's arm and said with a trembling voice, "Someone's there. I saw it with my own eyes." Liam quickly turned to look in that direction, but darkness had already swallowed the forest again. Trying to appear strong, he said, "It's just your imagination." But inside, unease gnawed at him. Heart whispered that they were not alone. A little further ahead, they came upon a small pond, filled with rainwater. Emma slipped and nearly fell, but Liam grabbed her hand just in time and steadied her. For a moment, their hearts found relief, only for the next moment to be shattered by the sound of a branch snapping behind them. They both spun around at once. The darkness stood still, silent, but they knew, without a doubt, that something was there. Weariness and cold had drained them. Liam said, "We have to burn some wood and make a fire, otherwise the cold will finish us." Both of them gathered fallen branches and wood. When the rain stopped, Liam struck a match. Slowly, the fire caught and blazed, casting a glow into the forest's darkness. They sat close to it, staring into the flames. Emma said, "This light feels like it's protecting us from some misfortune." Liam replied, "Light always cuts through darkness, even if only for a while." But around the fire, the forest silence deepened even further. It felt as though every creature, every bird, had hidden away in fear. Some time later, the first ray of the sun appeared in the sky. Yet in Liam's heart, a strange uneasiness lingered. The silence of the forest was unnatural, like it was hiding a greater danger. They kept moving deeper into the forest. The light had returned, but the silence and stillness remained unbroken. Or suddenly, a terrifying roar shook the air. Emma's heart leapt to her throat, and she screamed, burying herself into Liam's arm. The roar had come from nearby. Between the trees, a shadow began to move, and then a massive lion emerged before them. 7 Liam pushed her behind him and, though shaking, spoke in a firm voice. Nothing will happen. I'm here. The lion advanced slowly, each step making the ground seem to tremble. Tears streamed down Emma's face. The lion now stood directly before them. It fixed its deep, piercing gaze upon them, then let out a thunderous roar before sitting down, like a predator toying with its prey. A trembling voice, Emma whispered, "It's playing with us before killing us." Liam pulled her tightly into his arms. Their hearts pounded so violently, it felt as though they might burst at any moment. This was a moment that felt like standing on the very edge of death. The sound of the lion's heavy breathing grew closer. The sharp claws dug into the earth. Emma shut her eyes and began to pray in a faint whisper. Liam said, "No matter what happens, we'll stay together." The lion drew closer, step by step. Emma clung tightly to Liam. Liam closed his eyes one last time. They both braced themselves for death. But suddenly, the lion stopped. It studied them intently, then slowly began to back away. Emma and Liam stood frozen in shock. Their bodies trembled, but in their eyes, a new light had awakened. Through tears, Emma whispered, "We're alive." Liam lifted his gaze to the sky and said, "Perhaps nature has given us a second chance." Sunlight had spread, the snow had melted, and the forest now seemed less frightening. And yet, on their hearts, this night would remain forever etched. The night when death stood only a few steps away, and then a miracle happened. The sunlight had bathed the forest in gold, but Emma and Liam's hearts were still pounding. They moved forward slowly. The air was no longer as cold, yet a strange uneasiness walked alongside them. Every rustle of leaves made them flinch. As they walked, Emma suddenly noticed something on the ground. Imprinted on the grass were large paw marks, clear signs of the very lion that had stood before them not long ago. With a trembling voice, Emma said, "Look, it's still close." Emma's heart shuddered. Does that mean there was a man with the lion? Or... She couldn't finish her sentence. The sound of breaking wood came from behind a nearby tree. Both of them turned, fear tightening their chests. A shadow moved, but it wasn't the lion.